House of Representatives, the State House of Representatives in Oklahoma has passed legislation that the state simply cannot pay for. And it all centers around the notion that it is important to teach high school kids that life begins at the moment of conception. Now, keep in mind that Oklahoma ranks pretty much at the bottom of education in the United States, and they're dealing with a huge deficit, but who cares? They've decided to pass legislation that would be very costly. Now, let me give you the details. It has a price tag of almost $5 million in additional spending for a state that's already running a $1 billion deficit. That amounts to $10,000 per high school for a state whose public education system currently ranks 46th in the nation. Okay.
Yeah, that's not okay.
It's not okay. You love that joke. We were making fun of the fact that you liked that joke in the production meeting today.
I know. Every time there's an Oklahoma story, I think that's not okay. God, Jesus Christ, man.
That's right. Appropriate use of the soundboard today.
Okay, yes.
All right. Now this legislation would order Oklahoma Department of Education to advertise anti-abortion crisis pregnancy centers in high schools and to clearly and consistently teach that abortion kills a living human being. Now, again, let's stop for a second. This is not like something that's happening at private schools. This is something that's going to happen in all schools, all public high schools, okay? They're pushing a religious ideology in public schools.
And that's not fact-based. So if you live in Oklahoma, and by the way, I have family members who live in Oklahoma, you're now going to have to pay taxes to fund schools, which desperately need funding because they're miserable performance in Oklahoma, but not for actual education, for miseducation.
Yes.
We're going to literally teach you things that aren't true based on our religion. I mean, I can't imagine a worse use of taxpayer money.
Well, also, Oklahoma, of course, doesn't have comprehensive sex ed. In fact, they don't require schools to teach sex ed at all. But if they do decide to teach sex ed, there is no law in Oklahoma preventing teachers from teaching misinformation, okay? So if the teachers decide that they want to tell their students, don't have sex because if you have sex before marriage, you're going to develop cancer, they can go ahead and do that. Don't have an abortion because an abortion is linked to breast cancer, a common lie that conservatives like to tell that has no fact it's not based on fact whatsoever. They can go ahead and say that as well. So let me tell you why it's so expensive. They want to get celebrities involved to convince these students to never have an abortion. The legislation would also require the department to seek out entertainment personalities and athletes who are recognizable role models for many young people in order to teach students about the humanity of the unborn child. Okay. And also the bill requires schools to distribute literature describing the probable anatomical and physiological characteristics of the unborn child at 2-week gestational intervals, with the ultimate goal of achieving an abortion-free society. Oklahoma is currently the second state with the highest rate of teen pregnancies. Letting you know.
Okay, so let's again focus on the facts here. First of all, first 2 weeks in, when they'd have to do their first update on the gestational yada yada, it's okay. All right, we've got a bunch of cells that are lumped together. Okay, now 2 weeks after that, well, there's a couple more cells now. Hey. But no, you think they're going to do that and they're going to be accurate about the actual, 2-week intervals and what's actually happening? No, they're going to pretend. Oh yeah, I think I see a nose. Yeah. Are those arms? Like no. Later there are. Later, yes, you get noses, arms, etc. You can see it, and it's interesting and in a lot of ways wonderful, right? But in the beginning, there is no such thing, right? It is a lump of cells. But they're not going to teach that. They're going to teach opposite. It's alive. It's alive. It's a living human being. Now, I've looked at the cells when it's just 2 weeks old and 4 weeks old. It's not a living human being, okay? So, look, and even if you thought it was, that's like your opinion, man. And somebody could have the opinion that it's not a living human being until it's born, no matter how well formed it is. But that's also your opinion, man.
Yeah.
I don't want either side teaching that as if it's an actual education that you're giving kids.
Yeah, look, the whole point of education is to give kids the information they need to succeed. So if you're concerned about abortion, the best thing you can do is offer comprehensive sex ed. If you want to provide information about abstinence, of course you should do that. I had the best sex ed classes when I was in high school and middle school, by the way. Of course they talked about abstinence. Of course they talked about how that's really the only surefire way to prevent pregnancies and STDs. But they also talked about other options, which helped me from preventing pregnancy at like 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you remember that I have the health sex ed class that would make conservatives' heads explode, where my teacher was like, "Now, all you boys, you all get around and do circle jerks, right?" And we were all like, "What? What is this?" Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that's the conservative nightmare. But you know what didn't happen that night? The kids in that class didn't get together and do a circle jerk. Like, it wasn't like, "Oh my God, she planted that thought in our head. Should I grab Bob? Right? Should we do a daisy chain?" That just didn't happen. That's not how it works. But she did teach us how to put on condoms and all that. And so we didn't have anywhere near the teen pregnancy rate that Oklahoma has right now. And so when you don't teach abstinence, you get a sky-high teen pregnancy rate.
Yeah.
Because you know what there is to do in Oklahoma other than have sex? Not a goddamn thing.
Yep.
Okay? So yes, they're human beings. They're going to have sex. You might as well at least teach them how to be safe. And if you don't do that, that's not okay.